This is my DIY tutorial on this 5-petal ribbon flower. I used a 1.5-inch ribbon for this project. First, I measured the ribbon 2-inch bases and I cut out 2-inch rectangles by 1.5 inches. I marked it with a pencil and cut it with the scissors. I cut a couple out and then I used one as my main template to cut the rest out, 5 total. Once I was done cutting all the edges, I took a candle and I cinched the edges. One thing, you need to make sure that you do it correctly and in a place where there's no wind so that your ribbon doesn't burn. And you can usually feel the edge of the ribbon to see if it has singed or if it will fringe. So once that was done, I went ahead and I put a needle and thread together, matching colors, and I stitched the bottom of the ribbon. I folded it in half and I stitched along the bottom, just a straight stitch, and pulled it through. So that's your first petal. Next, you're going to do the same thing with the next petal, folding it in half, stitching the bottom, trying to get as close to the edges as possible. That way, when you pull the thread through, it will have nice, neat edges when the petals combine. So go ahead and thread it through all 5 pieces of ribbon, and once you're done with that, you're going to pull the thread through, line them up, and then pull all the pieces together, taking your time so that the thread does not break and aligning your petals the way that you want them to go. When you're happy and satisfied, attach it to the beginning petal again to close the circle. Once you've done that, go ahead and do a couple of stitches to close the back and snip it off, and that's it. So now I attached a little button to the middle. I found this button in my collection of buttons and I just stitched it along. I do plan on adding hot glue to the back to keep it more securely in place, especially if you're using this for a toddler flower. So here's how you do the petals. You thread your needle through, loop it back into the thread, and pull it along the edge of the petal, trying not to get it caught. Then it comes out on the other end of the petal, pull it through, and then pass the needle back through the same loop of the petal, trying not to get it caught, and pulling it through, pulling it out. And when you pull it through, it scrunches the petal, and then you're going to kind of open the side to see where the first stitch is, and you're just going to stitch a little knot in there so that the petal stays in place. So there's one knot, and thread it through, thread it back, and there it is. Another knot, and you can cut it off, and you're just going to repeat this for all the rest of the petals. So that is it. Once you're done doing all the petals, this is what your flower should look like. Please like and subscribe.